afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, brothers, sisters. Want to welcome you to BNN 247, the real voice of Black USA, broadcasting live every Sunday at 3:30 p.m. At this point in time, I want to introduce my co-host and friend, Mr. Claude Foster, who will be with us throughout the duration of this show. Thank you, Mr. Claude.
Hello, my brother. Happy MLK weekend, MLK holiday. Uh, is happy a good word?
I don't know. You have to look up each word. I got the Black's Law Dictionary right here. I'm gonna look it up right quick.
I mean, to associate with Dr. King, is happy? Is that appropriate?
Well, I mean,
Listeners,
yeah,
listeners,
I don't, I don't.
listeners, chime in and let us know is happy extending happy MLK birthday. Is that a good use of the word happy today?
Did you hear that? TikTok is my co-host, Mr. Foster, asked if is it a good idea to say this is a happy occasion,
MLK, yeah, happy occasion given the state of black people in right now.
given the state of Black people in the U.S. of A. So, if you got the question, please come back with a comment and let me know what you think about it. We can address it. Um, I'm looking up the word happy in the Black's Law Dictionary too.
Right. Okay.
So I want to be able to tell it just like it is.
I mean,
HAMNOPQR.
I guess for that matter, since this is a birthday celebration for Dr. King, it is his birthday, or we're celebrating his birthday. Should any black birthday be happy?
So they only got in Black's Law Dictionary, they got the word happiness.
And what does it mean to be happy?
They don't have the individual word happy.
Oh, okay.
I see happy, slappy, crazy shit. I see happiness.
But not happy.
No, I do not see the word happy.
Maybe it's too close to nappy.
But at least I look for it, try to see the reference in it, see if we need to address it a little more about what's going on with it. But I don't see the problem with you using happiness with MLK because this is a season we're trying to take the burden off the backs of the descendants by celebrating these days.
Right.
And also at the same time remembering the descendants that put forth their lives to put us where we are right now.
What white what white person birthday do we celebrate with the word happy?
I don't celebrate too many white birthdays, so I don't
But I
know.
mean, I mean, of any of the country's founders or whatever, we don't say happy birthday, George Washington. That's not a. Is there any?
Well, I've heard somebody say that on his birthday.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
happy birthday to George Washington, and it ain't a big.
But do we say happy George Washington Day?
No, no, we don't say happy George Washington Day. What are you saying? We saying happy Martin Luther King Day?
I'm just
What you
being
comparing it to?
my mind is just went there.
Right.
Just yeah, just kind of
But
went there.
still, let's explore what you're talking about. What do you compare this to when you use like George Washington
I
versus
I
MLK?
mean nothing about Dr. King's life.
George
The way
Washington,
he died was
Malcolm X.
he was murdered. We don't say Happy Malcolm X Day.
Well, what it boils down to right now, we're talking about the MLK legacy, the
Right.
justice, the diversity, and accountability. Let's start with the beginning, the MLK legacy. They don't acknowledge what we've accomplished. I mean, let's say you got roaches in your house, right? I ain't gonna say. I'm just saying, if you got roaches in your house and you go through a situation where you're trying to eliminate those roaches, or even termites for that matter, you go through a process to try and get rid of those termites and to get rid of those roaches because you feel like they have contaminated your your domicile. So you go through the process of poisoning, eradicating, using everything you can possibly think of. You studying the insecticide aisle in Home Depot and Lowe's. You're trying to find the right poison to get rid of these bugs or whatever else that may be in your presence that you want to get rid of. So you can take the poison and you can administer the poison. But the bugs that you're going to get rid of are the warriors. Those are the pawns. They're out there in the front line, soldiers fighting. And see, I'm using the principle of what's happening here with these roaches or these termites and how they operate. And we operate the same way, but we don't realize we operate the same way. We're a human factor of an ant colony, but we don't see it that way because we haven't studied the ant colony to a level where we know what's actually happening in that ant colony. So when they come at us with all these different things. So the MLK legacy, they fought their way through the civil rights movement. They fought their way through the Civil Rights Act of 1965. They fought their way to get those accomplishments. They fought their way to get affirmative action. Huh?
The reason why I'm asking that, there this country tends to we tend to look at Dr. King as, you know, his "I Have a Dream" speech and stuff like that. We don't look at his more radical uh, positions.
Exactly.
And
We look at that. That's what they
happy,
want us to look at.
but happy seems to go along with that narrative. Ins-
What needs
Instead of Martin Luther King Memorial Day or Martin Luther King, you know,
well, what goes along with that date, with this whole scenario to me is purosity. Is that a word?
or you
Not
just
pure,
made it one. Yeah,
purity.
curiosity.
Being, being,
You can make it a word. Yeah,
being,
you
being angry, being disappointed, being being let down. Everything about us being successful in the US of A has been a letdown.
right.
Because only thing we can honestly say that has been done for black people is negative. We can definitely identify the hanging season. We can definitely identify the Ku Klux Klan season. We can definitely identify the black codes. We can definitely identify the Jim Crow laws. We can definitely identify the lease convict leasing process. We can definitely identify the Peach Bowl. I mean, I can go on and on and on and on and identify all these things that we have fought to make better for us, black people. Now, it only becomes a situation with black people in an event where I don't know. If a person with melanin skin get killed, it's considered. I'm sorry with the word unalive. I don't want to use that word I used a minute ago. Unalive. It's a situation where it affects us. It's us. It's part of our character, our culture in America, and it reflects on us. No matter what it is, it could be a bunch of Jamaicans robbing a jewelry store, but black people gonna get blamed for it.
Right.
It could be a bunch of Africans robbing a truck, one of those armored trucks, and it would be our fault. And it's our fault because those people have melanin in their skins, and that's been the issue all along where in certain people in this country can take something like that and spin it so fast that we don't have time to think with our rational brain. We're quick to pass it on to the next person, pass it on to the next person. And the news will jump on it and pass it on to the world. And it's a lie. It's fake news. So because it's talking about black people when we ain't had a doggone thing to do with that that armored truck heist or that bank heist or any other heist for that matter. But because those people had melanin in their skin, they're going to blame us, even when it is not even a black person. It's a Mexican or it's an Italian or something like that, or somebody with color in their skin. The first thing come to people's mind is black. That's what the issue is, and this is 2026, and it ain't changed. You know, we get on here every January or February and fuss about MLK and all this other stuff. I don't want to hear from Martin Luther King III. I don't want to see his big ass up on TV talking about the legacy of Martin Luther King because you did not continue the legacy. Get out the way.
Right.
Add no value to the legacy. What are you doing? You know, that I just didn't like that. And then
Right.
I look at what San Antonio is doing with the MLK March. They brought in, is it Gabby, somebody that is gymnast lady, a 25-year-old to give a speech to on Martin Luther King Day. Don't bring no kid in here trying to tell me a damn thing. You know, I don't knock her intelligence. And I don't knock how smart she is, but she's a gymnast. She's an athlete. Leave athletes in the athlete's place and put the politician in the politician's place. Put the person in there that can move the crowd the way it's supposed to be moved, not somebody that's 25 years old that don't know how the crowd need to be moved.
Well, that goes back to my question about the word happy. And is
Mhm.
Martin Luther King Day a meaningful day for black folks, or is it just no more than a celebration like Juneteenth that white folks use to validate their interpretation of the past of Dr. King rather than dealing with the critical issues that we're going to be talking about on the show today?
See, that's a perfect question because we look at it a certain way and they look at it a certain way too. They look at it exactly like you just said. It is a means to show that we're not a racist city, that we're going to show some diversity here, and that we're going to do something diversified by honoring this MLK March. But on the same token, they saying, yeah, that's going to check that block.
I
But
guess what I'm saying, like here in Houston,
mhm,
is is all that MLK stood for and fought for and died for, parades and bands and you know, is that what his memory? I mean, is that what the day is all about?
when they start calling it a parade, then you lost the value of what that is. It is not a parade.
I
And
mean,
black when you got black people walking around talking about we going to the parade, then they have lost the value of what this operation or what this time in the year presents.
what does having the largest black MLK parade in the nation do for
Got a
African American San Antonians? I mean, how does that translate into any real
value.
change, justice?
It doesn't translate to a single thing. San Antonio still has less than 3% African American government contract throughout the whole city. Less than 3%. So this diversity thing, this legacy thing ain't changed a bit. And it's almost like when we get 2 steps forward, we take 5 steps backwards. We cannot get to the point where we can capitalize on who we are and what we represent because we they know how to deal with us. They know how to move us. They know how to work us. They know how to separate us. They know how to put us together. They know how to distract us, which is the biggest problem of the country right now is the distraction that black people suffer because we're too busy knowing every player on the Pittsburgh Steelers team and knowing everybody on the Green Bay Packers team. We too busy knowing that dumb stuff that don't do a doggone thing for the political status of our people. And most people say, well, I ain't got to worry about our people because I'm not part of it. I'm doing living my life. I got a nice job. I got a nice car, nice house. Yeah, but you got it right now. You got it right now.
Is that what the dream was all about? Nice car, nice house,
The
nice
dream, but
neighborhood.
see,
Is
that's the
that
thing.
is
See,
that the dream?
that's the thing. We think of the dream on the surface. We never think about what's beneath the dream. What it will it take to make this dream a reality? We don't even want to talk about that part because that's too complicated. All we want to do is walk outside and the dream has occurred.
Does the person that's living paycheck to paycheck, can't pay his bills, can't take care of his family, should they be out there marching in the birthday party,
The
the birthday?
march, the broke person has a right to participate in life as anybody else does. Whether you broke, the status of your bank account does not
Well, the reason why I asked that question was, I mean, you could translate that over. Should that person even bother about voting? Should that person, I mean, you can translate that into different areas. Yeah, the successful black, the person that somehow made this society work for them or her, have that option. But does that day worker, does that person that is involved in the criminal justice system in an unfair way? I mean, I mean, how should they look at this day, or this weekend, or this celebration?
Well, I think a person that's marginally making it under the poverty level or right at the poverty level, they have to make a decision themselves. I mean, I can't sit here and say how they should feel, but I can say that it's more productive and more value added for
Right.
them to be out there in that march, as long as it is still considered a march and not a parade. When it becomes a parade, you're wasting your time. And the thing about marching, it's not to accomplish anything. It's to disrupt. That's what the march is doing. Anytime you're going on a march, anytime you're going on a parade, it is a disruption of the normal process of that day. And that's exactly what's happening with MLK. So the city allows the entire operation of the city to be disrupted for a day as long as you pay the permit fee.
But isn't MLK's Day a reflection? I'm reading some here. I didn't know. I didn't even look at this before
Mhm.
we started this discussion. It says, "Is it appropriate to say Happy MLK?" A common question arises about whether it's appropriate to say Happy MLK Day as a
Mhm.
greeting. The answer is nuanced, since Martin Luther King Jr. Day is intended for reflection on racial equality and the struggles against economic and racial segregation. The word happy can feel out of place.
So it's a 50-50. But you call it a 50-50, 60-40 chance that we appreciate that it's called Happy Martin Luther King
Because
Day.
another reason why I brought that up was you can go to you can go back to Mississippi, I can go back to Alabama, or right here in Texas.
Mhm.
Every street named after MLK, is that a street of economic? I mean,
Disadvantage.
the MLK streets in Mississippi, what do they look like? What does the neighborhoods look
It's,
like? That
it's economic disadvantage everywhere. Everywhere they tell you. See, you got to realize the real value of having an MLK sign on the interstate.
Yeah, what is
It
the
tells
value?
you it tells you where not to go.
Or is
If
that equivalent to having a sign saying ghetto this way?
yes, that sign. That's exactly what it's saying. Ghetto this way. That's what that sign is saying. So it's telling most travelers, don't go over there looking for nothing. Don't go that way.
Don't go there to
So
buy nothing. Don't go there
naming
to.
so cities rushed to name streets in black neighborhoods MLK Street
Right.
because it was an automatic death sentence. That's what it was.
Wow.
When you name a street MLK, you diverted 70% of the traffic from that street because people automatically have a preconceived notion or a conception of what black people are.
Well, you,
It's the clenching the purse type thing that America has created when it comes to black people. And so some people decided that it's okay to be what they think we are. We're gonna be exactly what they think we are. We're gonna be those thugs. We're gonna be those robbers. And you give us the resources to create those things. So the legacy of MLK from 1963 to 2025 is probably worse. I don't know if it is it seems as though this particular time in life is going to be so hard for young black men trying to make a way right now. It's going to be impossible. And
I
this
mean,
March thing is a distraction too, huh?
King has. There are two other people with a holiday, with a birthday named in their honor: George Washington and Christopher Columbus. We don't have a Christopher Columbus Day march, do we? Do we
I
have a George Washington
have
march?
little focus on either one of them two clowns. I don't focus. I couldn't tell you very much anything other than what they taught me in elementary school about George Washington and Christopher Columbus because I found out they both were fakes and they were not who they say they were. He wasn't the first president and he was never elected to that office.
Some
And
states, some states combine the observance of King's birthday with other days. States like Arizona and New Hampshire combine MLK Day with Civil Rights Day,
or they
which is not recognized as a federal holiday.
it's an
Others,
attempt to
other,
do it, though.
others simultaneously observe Human Rights Day on King's birthday with the same belief, equality for all. I didn't mean to get us off the show, but I just wanted to.
This is on the show though.
It's
This is what's
King.
actually happening.
Yeah, it's Dr. King's birthday, and I think we're going to be talking about economics and stuff. And I think we start. You can start with Dr. King's and how we celebrate Dr. King and the meaning of Dr. King's birthday and
Mm-hmm.
how it's celebrated.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just told you, we got a combined uh, MLK parade because that's how we celebrate. You guys call it a march, right?
It is a march. Why would you call
What is the okay? A march, everybody participates. A parade, people watch. Everybody doesn't participate.
a parade is entertainment? A
Marching
march
the band, yeah,
a march is for a purpose.
right. You guys are out there with your different signage, different messaging. I'm sure it'll be a lot about immigration
So y'all
and
gonna have a
and
march.
this
Y'all
administration.
parade.
We got a parade. We
See,
get
why
to.
would you allow this is what bothers me. You allow the city to change it from a march to a parade.
I don't think it was ever a march here in Houston.
And see why what you never saw Martin Luther King putting on a march every time he wanted to protest.
No, a
So
parade.
why would you put on a parade for him unless you're just saying this is we ain't worried about the march no more. We just gonna do a parade. And if that's what you've proclaimed,
Why
I
don't
mean
you ask? Why
say
don't
it.
you ask, Why don't you ask the listeners about a parade versus a march?
Listeners on TikTok, you heard it from Mr. Claude Foster. What is the status of a march or a parade?
in terms
Which
of how we celebrate Dr. King's birthday.
is this what we celebrate? What are we celebrating here? A march or a parade? Can you tell me something? Help me out with this. We don't know which one. I mean, I know what I think, and Claude knows what he thinks, but we want to know what you think. The legacy of MLK has been sinking. I mean, let's say when he first few years after his assassination, he was at like a 90% rating approval rating for the public. In 2026, Martin Luther King is at what? A 67, 80, 70% rating for the general public. You know, because if you look back on everything that has happened, segregation was a disaster. Uh, he even realized it was a disaster. Turning the other cheek was a disaster. You know, allowing these people to get beat up the way they got beat up was a disaster. You know, I mean, I don't care how passive you can become in the presence of somebody that has no soul. Your compassion and your passiveness does not matter because you will be treated. I mean, in other words, the nicer you get, the worse they get. That's what it seems like to me. You can be as yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full, sir, and they'll be saying get your GD jop on the jop you jop. You know, they'll be speaking in tongues on you,
Right.
even though you are no problem. I can take care of this, and you really ain't done anything to be so kind, but you're just kind. That's why everything has happened to the black man that has happened to the black man because of his kindness. We're too kind. And being kind as we are has cost us the world. And that's what it boils down to. Being as kind as we are, it has cost us the world. And as long as we think that our kindness and our belief that we are going to a better place, you think about it this way, you know, Jesus is in heaven waiting on you to get there. You're on earth waiting on yourself to get there. Why don't y'all just meet in the middle? Everybody waiting on everybody, to get somewhere, but nobody wants to be realistic about what's being said. It's a whole lot being said, but ain't nobody listening. The truth is being said, but ain't nobody listening.
Now,
It, it's,
are you gonna be out there tomorrow with your sign on your talk on your issue? Are you gonna be out there with holding up a sign? Will I see you on the news?
I have sit here and thought about this for an hour, for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, whether I'm going to go to the Martin Luther King March or not, and do some recording and some
Oh,
footage
okay. Yeah,
on the show.
that'll be good.
I have
Do some
at
interviews. Yeah.
this point in time, I have a negative feeling about going to that march tomorrow. So no, I won't be there. But back to the legacy of Martin Luther King.
Right.
I don't know if at the moment there was a value. There was a beautiful value. That period of time gave us what it was supposed to give us. The period of time for Mega Evers gave us what it was supposed to give us. Period of time for Malcolm X gave us what it was supposed to give us. But the period of time for now, we have yet to obtain what we were supposed to do. We have not done what we are supposed to do. So nothing favorable going to come our way until we do what we're supposed to do. Just like I always say, nothing great going to happen here until this country does right by us, by our people. And that's not happening yet. Nobody wants to apologize. Everybody wants to erase the legacy and the history of what we've done here in this country. Nobody wants to give us the national recognition that we deserve. And when America was doubling down on beating and killing and hanging and burning and dismembering us, the rest of the world turned their heat. And there's people sitting in Congress right now that are one generation away from people who held the rope. They're sitting in there now. And my daddy held the rope. He probably got 19 notches on his gun.
Hmm.
There's people sitting in there right now that can tell you that. There's people sitting in there right now with ears and jars of vinegar sitting on this kitchen windows.
Well, I think you know, every state got a minimum wage, but is a minimum wage a living wage?
No, not at 725. You can't dice that the right way to make it a living wage. How can you make 725? You can work 20 hours a day at 725 and it still won't be a living wage. That ain't even $100 a day.
Nope. And they take don't they take taxes out and everything out of that
Yeah,
seven
then
twenty
you lose
five?
taxes on that too. So if you, even $9 ain't about jack. $17 is you make your eyebrow go up, but $20 is where everybody should be starting. No less than $20.
So if you work a 40-hour job, you should be getting $20 an hour minimum.
Yeah, 160 a day.
Well, that would help people at the bottom. That would help.
That's eight. Was that 850 a week times four?
So why don't we have a federal uh, wage?
$500 a month. That still ain't
Why
much.
don't we have a federal living wage? Because that's what most states use.
Well, if you making $20 an hour, right?
Could
And
you?
40 when you do 40 hours a week, and you still at what it is 24 hours, 80, 80, 160 hours a month, you still ain't you at 160 hours a month. You're only making 3,600, $3,700 a month. That ain't no living wage.
Well, what will be a because what
That's
would
just
be
$20 an hour.
what should the federal minimum wage be if it's not 20?
A minimum for a family with two kids is $5,000 a month.
Should it be indexed to the number of children? Or
Yes, because a child brings a particular cost to a family.
I mean, I don't think we'd ever get that through Congress.
Yeah, because but right now they want to increase the population of those people, so I think they'll be glad to do something like that. They'll be dropping babies left and right around here.
I think if we had a higher federal minimum wage, I
Uh,
think I think I think the government would spend less because you wouldn't need so many social programs. You wouldn't need so many catch-all programs.
what the thing is, these problems are not a problem that can't be fixed. These problems are problems that have been they chose not to fix things. They chose to defer the adjudication of these issues. They chose to allow you to be sick rather than to heal you. They chose to sustain you rather than to heal you. So you can live with it. You live
Like
with whatever they diagnose you with.
the state of Texas minimum wage is the federal minimum wage, whatever $7 an hour, whatever it is.
725.
Okay, what is it for the city of San Antonio? You know,
725.
that can't be for the city workers. For the city, I'm talking about for city employees.
I don't know for city employees, but the requirement is 725. Now, what I wanted to go into the Claude is to tell you about this too. You when the Supreme Court does a ruling and they put that ruling out to every state,
Right.
and then every state receives that ruling and pass that down to every county, and then every county pass that down to every city, and then every city pass that down to the municipality. So let's say the municipality decided that even though the federal government said we can't lynch people in public no more,
Can't what?
the federal government said we cannot lynch people in public no more.
Okay.
But now the local municipalities still wearing their hoodies think they can still do it, so they go out and do it. All right, so they go to court, they get acquitted. They ain't did nothing. They ain't hung nobody but a Negro. You know, I was gonna say the other word, but I said Negro. So the lawyer appealed this ruling all the way up to the Supreme Court of the United States. What do you think the Supreme Court of the United States going to do? Now, keep in mind, let me give you the facts again. They've already put out the local municipality hung somebody, went to court and got acquitted. Now it's on the appeal. The Supreme Court stood behind their ruling. What can they do?
Well, I think the Supreme Court would strike it down because it violates the 14th Amendment Equal Protection Clause.
But the man dead.
Well, but we're talking about a law that it's on the books. Yeah, you can't bring back the person that's dead, but
Hmm.
if the Supreme Court rules that they violated his equal protection, the family could sue and probably get a big award. Probably get a huge award.
I wanted to give you that scenario because you'd be surprised where the Supreme Court stand on a situation like this. The Supreme Court has said, and I can't remember the case number. I was reading the case a week or two ago, and it was telling me what they ruled, what they
Uh-huh.
said when it got appealed back to the Supreme Court.
Right.
The Supreme Court said, we put out the law. The law has to be enforced by the state, and the state has to enforce the county and all that stuff. But if the state does not prosecute that man that hung that man, ain't nothing the federal government gonna do about it because they say we don't deal with individual cases.
Well,
That's
now we
what
have an anti-lynching law. Biden signed an anti-lynching law in 2022. It took all them years
took a
for
long
them
time.
to actual. It took all that time. They've been lynching us since we've been in this country, and we didn't get an anti-lynching law passed until 2022.
So that tells me, Claude, there's no intention on doing what's right by our people. There's no intention.
Well, isn't lynching murder? So
Of
when the
course it is. Why you got to tell somebody that don't murder? You can't murder black people no more.
well, no, you got to tell people you can't lynch black people no more.
Well, you lynch, murder. What's the difference?
Well, obviously there's a distinct difference if they had to pass a law to address it,
What is it then?
because it was already against the law to
What
murder someone.
is it? Huh?
It was already against the law to murder someone. So why
So
do we need a
what's the lynching law for?
black folks to keep people from lynching black folks?
But that's who they was lynching anyway.
I know it sounds convoluted, but what I'm saying is Biden signed the anti-lynching bill in 2022, so obviously there was still a need for it
Hmm. Yeah, it was.
because
So
the Supreme Court never addressed it. The NAACP fought against lynching for years, of almost every year that has been in existence.
but see, still look at why it didn't get passed.
Why didn't it?
You got the same people in Congress and the Senate. that wanted slavery, that enjoyed the benefits of slavery.
But lynching is not slavery.
You know,
Lynching is,
see, this is what they done. They figured it out a long time ago that politics is where everything is controlled. Everything is controlled by politics. Look how Donald Trump can stand up there and threaten everybody in the world. I'm gonna raise the tariffs if you do this. I'm gonna shut you down if you do that. You know, you 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 just arbitrarily throwing stuff out there that you have no idea on how to do.
but you know, to clarify, the bill was named after Emmett Till because it
Yeah,
amended the U.S. Code to designate lynching
you
as
know,
a federal
we
crime,
still get hung at 55,
as a federal hate crime.
55. So
Yeah.
73 years later,
Yep. Took that long. You know how many people were lynched probably in the intervening period?
thousands. That the most beautiful thing that a person can do to settle their curiosity.
But see, here's the thing: is it really was it really needed in 2022? Because the reason why you needed a federal anti-lynching law is because the states refused to prosecute at the state level those kind of crimes against black people.
Mm.
That's why you needed a. So we still needed a federal.
22 though, you didn't need it now. You need
That's what I'm saying. Did we need it in 2022?
just like we didn't need Juneteenth now. Biden did that too.
Yeah.
We didn't need it.
So
All this stuff with George Floyd going on, and you come out with some bull crap like Juneteenth. I,
are we that gullible? I mean, are we that?
he lost me on that.
What does that say about us? Listeners, what does that say about us? These laws we're talking about that were passed by the Juneteenth and anti-lynching bill in 2022, where we got states are not what they were when the lynching was actually taking place. It seemed like more ceremonial.
What?
What did the listeners think?
What's more ceremonial? Lynching?
No, these laws, the Juneteenth,
Oh, it's the
the anti-lynching law.
reaction. It's for reaction.
And do you think the Trump administration would abide by any law that Biden passed? You
No,
think his Justice Department would prosecute anybody under that law?
he would do everything he could to get rid of Trump. And he's almost on a hate spree
You think
because
the Trump administration would bring a case?
everybody that called him out, he went after him.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that guy who called him out the other day is not in jail. He put everybody in jail.
Oh,
So
but that guy got. I mean, what's that place where you can contribute money? He got millions of dollars real quick. They had to cut it off. So,
they know somebody was gonna go after him.
do you think that was appropriate to call out the president like that? He is the president.
What I think is the problem with that was his response to the heckler.
Oh, when he gave him the finger
He said F you
and gave him the finger.
and gave him the finger.
President of
Which
the United States.
to me that is
Where is the absolute? I mean, that was absolutely disgusting.
that was disgusting. And that's our president. But that's what we put in the office.
Now if he did that in public, what is he saying in private? You think he using the N word?
Yeah, he doing a lot worse. There's some things that'll never come out, but I really think we bit the big bullet this time.
But if Obama had a gave him the
We
finger,
already know what if Obama had done it. We already know. There's no
they
question
would have
about
been calling him before Congress. They would have been talking about impeachment.
it. Yeah,
They
no
would have been
question
talking
about it.
about.
All right, so the MLK legacy to me is played out. And Claude, I say that because
You
we've
think
been
it's played out?
yeah, it's played out. because everything got a season. Everything got a season, and the season for MLK is gone. You had a season where the church was the most powerful thing in our community, and it worked.
It's,
It was the most powerful thing in our community. Then you had a period where the Masons were the most powerful fraternity in our community, and it worked for that period of time. But it all faded. Now you're in a period where no structured leadership in our community whatsoever anywhere.
how about the politicians? You dismissing them too? The black uh,
In what respect? In what respect?
that they're no longer relevant in our community.
That's the only thing that's relevant right now. The politicians. And I say the only thing relevant right now in our community is politicians because the concept of the entire structure is built on politicians. There's nothing done in the United States today in a government facility without politicians. You got local government, you got community government, you got homeowners associations,
Right.
all governments. And these governments collect money. And they collect that money, and you got no say so in what they're going to do with it.
Well,
But if you don't pay that money, you're putting yourself in a position to go to jail.
there's jeopardy.
Hmm. So you got to pay taxes. So all of this is a situation where we are in the rear experiencing all of this stuff about the MLK's legacy, and it's not benefiting us. So we're saying, F the legacy. It's not working for me. So why should I put myself in a position to honor this? Well, if you would honor it for 12 months, maybe it would be different. But to try and cram everything we need to do in honor of MLK in 30 days or 60 days, it's a no brainer. It's not going to happen. And the city likes to regiment everything that's going on in the city. So now they're regimenting the MLK March. You need to see the snipers on the roof down here. I just thought about that. They have snipers on the roof for the MLK March, helicopters, drones. They got that entire force lining the march. And then when you get down to the field, you got till 5 o'clock, and you got to clear that field by 5 o'clock.
Oh, what? Y'all got a designated path now?
Yeah, you got a designated march path, but they wanted to bring it from downtown. They tried to change it to downtown last year, and they denied that move. But they still gonna try it. They're gonna keep trying till they get it done. Just like Abbott got that school voucher stuff done.
Yeah.
This year it didn't work, so it's going down the same route it's been going down for the last 20 years, from the Martin Luther King Elementary School down to Pittman Sullivan Park. The only change to that was it used to go to the corner of Houston and New Braunfels, the same place they do the wreath laying ceremony, and that was just a big intersection, and so they moved it to the park, which was
So
a good
not
in my mind.
so so it's in a park on the black side of town.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the David Scott YMCA?
Yeah. So it doesn't disrupt traffic or anything.
It doesn't disrupt a single thing. But see, they want to move it downtown. But this is what the kicker is. At the end of the march, they move everybody out. You move 20,000 people in 30 minutes. Gone.
It should be downtown. It's a San Antonio parade,
It's not a parade. That's the issue.
a march.
It's a march, and it has to be
Well, the
staged.
only difference between a march and a parade is the participants.
Huh?
The only difference between a march and parade is participants.
Well,
You don't have marching bands and all this kind of stuff in a march.
purpose.
In a parade, you do.
Yeah, it's about purpose.
Well, in
What
Houston,
kind
it's
of
about
justice?
It's
What kind
in
of
Hu-
justice have we gotten over the years? You know, we gotten Ch- Charbonneau convicted from Floyd, for George Floyd. Breonna Taylor family got paid, and I don't. Did they put him in jail?
I don't remember.
Did they put the 7-year-old boy killer a person in jail? The police who unalived him. You know, ICE unalived 102 people in 2024,
Wow,
2025.
wow.
102 people. 2 people so far this year. ICE. And I don't understand why every time I see ICE, it's all white.
No, there's a whole lot of blacks and Mexicans in ICE.
And then you got many of those people that were pardoned from January 6th. They're in the middle of all of this stuff, doing things. So when it comes to justice, there's no justice for us. I refuse to believe that there is justice for us in America. We have to bring our own justice. And without us doing our own thing and consolidating our own people, building our own purposes, it will never happen. I keep seeing this one thing about a group of families in Georgia that bought 100 acres and they started building a black community. You ain't black, you ain't living there.
Right?
And they're doing grocery stores, doctor's office, dentist office. They're doing everything black on these 100 acres, and that's where I think I'm going to have to go visit that place because I really see America segregating itself to that level where people are going to start building out in compounds, and if you're living in the inner city, it's going to be you living on borrowed time because it's going to be rough. So the legacy of MLK, it ain't something that I can say we should be proud of, or that we can be proud of MLK for putting his neck on the line as much as he did. But we have not honored what has happened. We're bringing in, we're doing things that just ain't beneficial to the people, and that's where the problem lies. If you're making a decision for a group of people, you need to consider the group before you make the decision. So, because you're making a decision for the group, nobody want to hear from Gabby. You know, Gabby's beautiful and she does great things on ice or wherever it is, on the beam or whatever she does. But I don't see her as being the public speaker.
You
For
think
me,
she's doing a good job?
she did an excellent job in the Olympics.
Oh, you heard? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about the one over ice.
No, no, I'm talking
No,
about Gabby,
no. Yeah, yeah. Gabby Gifford.
speaker for the march.
Oh, that's who's speaking at the march. Wow,
No wisdom, not enough wisdom for me.
wow.
Gotta have wisdom, justice. You know, we.
Okay, well, obviously there's a committee, right? Somebody
Mm,
had to invite her. So there's a march committee. Who's on the march committee?
Dosey Piper. I know her too. She did her thing. It's organized now. Everything's organized to the T. But the people, the guest speaker, to me, is the wrong person. You know,
Well,
I
I enjoyed it when I participated in it when I was
I
uh
participated in it for one meeting, and I didn't go back after.
what turned you off?
Huh?
Why didn't you go back? What?
Because it's the same thing everywhere I've been in San Antonio. You got the same group of people hustling for the same amount of recognition of funding that may be available.
Oh, okay.
And that's the problem. If the opportunity pops up, the same group of people pops up. If something else show up, the same group of people show up. And I said, this shit kept happening over and over and over. It happened at least 3 to 4 times.
And you
You
see the
know,
same.
I'm
You see the same
getting my
faces.
foot on the ground, and
Yeah,
I keep seeing the same faces, the same people.
yeah.
This ain't working.
Well,
They want to be on everything.
it's the
They
same
want
way.
all the money. That's what the deal is. Like
Yeah.
they have 2 Juneteenth celebrations here. two, and they both from different people who are mad because they can't get the whole thing. You got two MLK committees, got two marches, one march and one parade.
Oh, there's two in San Antonio.
Yeah,
Where's the parade at?
I don't even know. They don't have the clout and the marketing that this group has.
No, not the march.
And then they
Uh,
came. They employed this African guy called Show, and his he came up with the thing called Dream Week.
mm,
And Dream Week's supposed to promote all the local business.
right.
You ain't kissing his butt, you ain't getting promoted. So
Yeah.
you can rest assured, y'all know that I never got on his list during the time I was.
You should invite him on the show.
Oh, I don't do that. That wouldn't. But
I like to give a shout out to a good friend of mine, Paul.
mhm.
Paul, who watches the show every week.
Oh, he does.
Yeah,
Okay. Hey, Paul. Thank you, brother.
yeah,
Appreciate you watching the show.
yeah. I tried to invite him as a guest.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
we can always use guests. I mean, I ain't gonna say use, but invite guests. Anybody that may want to be on the show definitely can send me a text or email at info at bnn247.org.
yeah. Paul Below, good friend of mine. Good guy. Good head on him.
Yeah, in my email one more time is info at bnn247.org.
Hear that, Paul? We can have you on the show next week.
Mm-hmm. We got Kevin coming in. He said he just joined.
Hey, Kevin.
Seen Patrick come on earlier. Right now it's froze, so we'll see what's happening. I haven't had any questions lately. Elder, getting close to the end of the show.
Yeah, yeah.
Diversity.
We
What kind
we
of
got.
diversity things have you seen? I mean, have they done? Has the city done anything? Has the state done anything, or the federal government done anything for diversity other than take away diversity?
No, no, not in this administration. I mean, I don't think no government agency can even use the word diversity. Can't even mention diversity, DEI, or anything like that. So I think those words have been banned by this administration.
Mm. You can always go to BNN247 on YouTube, BNN247 on Facebook, BNN underscore 247 on Instagram, and shout out and tell us something. Tell us what you're thinking and tell us if you like the show. Tell us if you think we need to do something about the show. Say something. If you see
Let's hear
something,
from you.
say.
Speak up. Say something. Let's hear
If you
from you.
see something, say something. But justice, the legacy of MLK, the justice system around MLK, diversity, ain't no such thing in America right now. And accountability, the only people being held accountable are the people who are going too fast, who are getting famous too fast.
Yeah.
But black people have been prosecuted in 2025.
Well, I think we all need to push for a living wage, a federal living wage that states have to pay as a minimum. Otherwise, they lose their federal funding.
Yeah, we would have to explore that deeply, Claude, to talk about the what minimum wage
I
because
mean, there are experts
that's
out there that have talked about it. I'm sure it will be. It's,
yeah.
I mean, how do you have a $7 minimum wage in Mississippi and then a $7 minimum wage in New York City? Obviously, there's a cost of living difference
Big.
between Alabama, Mississippi, and New York, Pennsylvania.
They pay us the cost of living.
So you're
When I
saying
say
the
when I say accountability, what are we what are we going to do when people do stuff like they've done in this country? and then get pardoned. I mean,
What can we do? What
nothing.
should we do?
It ain't very much we can do. I mean, if the person got pardoned by the president, then that's all she wrote. You no longer have that charge against you, whether it could be anything. He has the power to pardon you for anything. You know, we got what's his name? What Dizzy? Diddy? We got Diddy in jail right now. He
Yeah,
going.
I think Diddy asked for a pardon, or his lawyers looked
They
into a
asking,
pardon, and
asking DC for a pardon.
Trump said he wasn't going to do it.
He did.
Yeah,
What
I mean,
about
from what?
the Epstein's girlfriend status? Is she going to get pardoned?
No, she's still down there in Beaumont. No, I mean up there in
They moved her to a better prison.
no, she's up there in where A&M is at. What's that town?
A&M is in Commerce.
No, Texas A&M.
Yeah, Texas A&M is in Commerce too.
Oh, okay, but not that
A
not
branch
that
of
one.
it. I'll say that. It's a branch.
Where the main campus is.
Mhm,
Bryan College Station up there.
mhm,
That's where she's at. Club Med, they say it is. It's
mhm,
not like a real prison. It's like It's like the Club Med of federal prisons.
mhm. So, avoids accountability. She's paying her costs. You got R. Kelly paying his costs. You got P. Diddy paying his costs. You got Bill Cosby paid his costs. O.J.
One
Simpson paid his
one
costs.
one day we need to do a show on where all these prisons are located in these white rural areas, which give them an oversized population and representation. Because the prison population is counted in the local communities, but the prisoners don't have any political uh, rights.
Political status. But you know, if you're in Texas and you're ex person that went to prison, you finish your what they call probation. You
Yeah,
finish your
you're off. You're off paper, but I'm talking about the le- the communities where these prisons are located. They get federal funds, state funds, outside
private
representation,
prisons though.
huh?
They are private prisons. I mean,
Doesn't
most new prisons are private prisons.
doesn't matter if they're private or whatever. I'm just saying that
They
the
still
people
get paid state
the
funds.
people in the prisons get counted in that local population.
Really?
Yeah, they get counted in that local population. So when the state is doling out money, when the federal government is doling out money, it's based on numbers. It's based on population numbers. They're just like illegal immigrants. States get money for the number of people.
So nobody's talking about all those illegal immigrants Abbott put on buses and sent them to other
What's
states.
well,
That's
I
what
have
that
a problem. I have
you
a
know.
problem calling somebody illegal in Texas because isn't this
Mhm.
was Mexico? What if my
Yeah,
wasn't it? What? So
let me
how's
ask
somebody
you.
gonna be illegal on their own land?
Let me ask you this: if you take an illegal alien from the border and you transport him to Chicago, what do you call?
Well, that's different. I'm talking. I was
Call
talking
it
about.
coyote. So Abbott sent 10 buses out of Texas full of illegal immigrants.
About 5,000, wasn't it?
It was more than 10 buses. But to move them from San Antonio to anywhere is illegal because you're transporting illegal aliens
Right.
out of state.
Why didn't they turn them over to ICE?
Why didn't they take them back to the border?
No, why didn't they turn them over to ICE?
Or why didn't they take them back to the border? You know, what's the simplest thing to do and the most cost effective thing to do? Send them to Chicago, further into the United States, or send them back to the border, 2 hours away. It's all a game. It's like they're all playing each other to see who can come one up on each other and at the end of the day, they go to the golf course and laugh about
Yeah,
it. And
talk about
here,
it.
they're
Joke about
living
it.
this entire life of fakeness. It's all about the rich and nothing else. It's all
No,
about
no, it's all about the money. Yeah.
it's all about the rich.
What do you think about Trump taking the Nobel Peace Prize, taking somebody else, accepting somebody else's Nobel Peace Prize?
I think that's the lowest form.
I mean, you got to have an ego all the way to the moon to be able to do that. Well,
That's the
that one
lowest
just.
form of selfishness I've ever seen. That's selfish.
Well,
That is
What do you think her giving it to him? I mean, what do you think of that
she
move?
she's kissing butt.
But that's
Without
the
doubt.
if
Why would
that's
you,
kissing
why
butt to the.
would you just ruin the credibility of the Nobel Peace Prize? That's what she did. She ruined the credibility of the Nobel Peace Prize by
So
giving it
who's worse, the fact that she gave it to him or the fact that he accepted it?
both both are
Disgusting.
there's no words for the leadership of either country. Right? There's no
Well,
words.
well, she wasn't the leader of the country. She was the opposition leader, and that's why she got the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah, but she's the leader now since
No,
they took
they
her out.
haven't put her in there yet.
Oh, I thought she was.
They left the other girl in there.
I don't know why she would just give him that award,
Like you said, she was kissing his ass.
or did he ask for it?
No, she had
And
a
he took
nice frame and everything. Had the medal there. You saw it.
Yeah, he took it, and no accountability.
He took it with a smile. He took it and had a photo op with
He ought to be ashamed. Hey,
it.
some
Ain't
things
no shame.
you don't do,
And
man.
I guarantee you, he gonna have that hanging up in Mar-a-Lago, and at the White House, and his presidential library, probably.
That is some raw stuff. Well, it's been an interesting conversation about the legacy, the justice, the diversity, and accountability.
Well,
They have
I think, as a minimum, on Dr. King's birthday, we should reflect on what it means. We should
what about the
continue
rest
to.
of the year?
Well, hopefully, the, the conversations in January will continue throughout the year. That's why we. That's I mean, that's
We make all this effort to do these things in January and February for MLK, but the rest of the year we don't act like we honor who we are. We don't believe in the bloodlines that we carry.
right.
You know, you said, I mean, we've covered the topic, but you said something I wanted to go back and say something. Um, you said that American people, I forgot what you said, but it stuck in my head until now. Almost as if you're saying that the people here in America should celebrate MLK Day in January and February, and then create something for the rest of the year, or what? What should we do?
Well, I think the fact that his birthday in January should be a month where leading up to that month where we have a planned strategy for the rest of the year. We shouldn't just celebrate the birthday and just put the card away until his next birthday.
Mhm.
Every January should be building on the last birthday, building on the last birthday in terms of a national agenda for black people. And I don't know whether the politicians can do it, the ministers can do it, a group of citizens can do it, but I think there needs to be some kind of continuity, black continuity, that extends
Everything.
beyond his birthday.
We had started a dinner on Martin Luther King dinner where we would
Uh,
do it over at Second Baptist Church for profit. You buy tickets, you come in, feed you, and give you.
Let me ask
Yes.
you a question before you go on, brother.
Mhm.
Is Second Baptist Church, that's a progressive pastor? It seems like y'all have a lot of events.
They went and spent $3 million on this big ass, excuse me, this monstrosity of a building, a gym. and they never used it. They built this thing, so it is the biggest thing on the block.
What?
They
It's a
never,
gym or they built a church?
gym, gym is bigger than the church.
What?
Hmm.
There must have been some dollars, some non-profit dollars or some.
Hmm. That thing is so big, it's ridiculous.
Well, it sounds like y'all use it for community events and stuff.
But what if we didn't? It'd be sitting there empty.
Oh, okay.
The thing is, what I've seen over there on the east side is that the city will throw money at
That ain't.
something and forget about it.
Yeah.
Like right now, you can go on the east side. There's community centers that are not even being used right
Right.
next to each other. They got the Barbara Jordan and then the other one over here,
The MLK Center.
Claude Black.
Yeah, Claude Black.
They got the Barbara Jordan and the Claude Black less than 100 feet apart. Two
Wow.
community centers. The dumbest shit I ever seen. Then you
Well,
go to,
well, the NWCP. I think the NWCP meets in the Claude Black Center, right? They got an office in the Claude
yeah,
Black. Yeah.
yeah, no, yeah, the Claude Black.
Yeah.
No, in Barbara Jordan. They're in the Barbara
Oh,
Jordan.
okay. They're in the Barber Jar.
So all I'm saying is the city will throw money at a situation here in San Antonio for black people because they know money will shut black people up. And that's what they do. Like they threw money at the Southern Baptist to build that big ass
Gym.
monstrosity of a gym. Stupid stuff. Stupid. You could put 1,000 people in it.
Wow. It's bigger than the church.
Hmm. You ride down Commerce Street,
Uh huh.
you can say, "Who church is that?" You think you're at the Potter's house or something. PDJ church. There's nobody there. You hear me?
Wow.
Nobody there. And then you
Wow.
go down the street. There's one, that church, two, three, four, five churches on the same street.
I'm not. Black churches.
Hmm.
Ain't that's more black. That's more churches than black people in San Antonio.
Hmm. On the same street.
Yeah. That's the same thing here.
Now, in my hometown, we got 800 people, black people. Well, 800 people total.
Right.
Out of 800 people, we probably got 450 black.
What?
450 black, you got seven black churches.
What?
Out of seven black churches, only 10 people go to church in each one. Oh. But they got all these church buildings that stay closed until Sunday, but they still only do services every once a Sunday, and that's what I see, and it's ridiculous. They got all this real estate, and they do church once a month on Sunday for 2 hours. Then the church is closed the rest of the month. And everybody that go to this church, they'll be at the next church next Sunday. And then they'll be at the next church the Sunday after that. And so every Sunday, that's how they fill up each church. All the members for this church will be at that church. And all the members for that church will be at this church. And it's crazy as hell. I just look at this stuff and just keep it moving. I think black people today have gotten to the point where we are no longer focused on progress.
I hear you.
We're focused on sustainability, surviving. And when you're in a survival mode, you ain't in a progressive mode. You ain't gonna progress nowhere. You just gonna make sure you sustain life.
Well, y'all seem to love y'all county judge, your black county judge down there.
Which
I
one?
mean, black county commissioner.
Calvert.
Yeah, Calvert. He does a pretty good job, don't
Yeah, he does a good job.
he? Yeah.
Tommy Calvert, a very nice guy,
Yeah, he's yeah.
very nice guy. His dad is a
T
civil rights
yeah,
activist.
TC Calvert, yeah.
TC raised so much hell in this city that they look at him and he get paid. He get paid. We had a beautiful system going. We were rating SAWS, CPS, San Antonio Fire Department, City of San Antonio, A to Z. Every month we meet, we give them a rating. A,
Mm.
B, C, D, E, F. Many of those individuals had Fs, and the word started getting out. Even the newspaper put it in the newspaper that this is the grade we gave them. And the grade was based on how much diversity you have in your operation.
Right.
If you ain't had no diversity, you don't get your. So we wrote down all that stuff about these organizations and give them a grade, and it get published in the newspaper. And so the organization started contacting TC, the organization. And the next thing you know, or the next thing I know, because I was like this with TC. I was working up there doing all the stuff, trying to help get things organized,
Oh, okay.
enjoying it, enjoying working there for free. Next thing I know, we meeting at the bus place over there, Metro, the bus system.
Right.
And the guy, TC promoted a guy that has nothing to do with the city. The guy is from Minnesota somewhere. He's got $1 million business. He's a black guy. And so TC brought him in and put him in the middle of the floor and promoted him. So
Promoted
somebody
him
asked,
to.
well, what about the local people that are looking for jobs? Well, we don't have anything yet now. That's why I
Okay.
don't have jobs, you know. And then you go from not having a job, they want you to have performance history. You don't have performance history. How you gonna have performance history when you haven't had any work? When you have a new company, you're trying to build a company, and they're not gonna give you the work because you don't have any performance history. So you're in a bad place either way you look at it. So for any of you out there, if you have not started an LLC right now, then you behind the eight ball. You don't have to ever use it. You ain't never got to use it. All you got to do is start. And what you need it started for is every once in a while, the federal government will come back and say, if you have an LLC, apply for this loan. And it's a grant, like the PPP loan. In order to get those PPP loans, you had to have an LLC.
Right.
And if you had your LLC already, even though you was not using it, you could have used it to get a loan. Easy. We are the kings. You're absolutely right. We are the king, user 2236. Glad to see you, Charles, Willie. Thank you guys for coming in. This is BNN 247, broadcasting live a little over an hour. We're going to go ahead and get ready to close, and thank you all for coming in and cover the latest news before we go. Claude, you got any latest news that you want to talk about?
Oh no, it's been an interesting program as always. We try to dig into some of these subjects, not so much for education, but also to get people to maybe start thinking a little bit more critically about these issues and why we do what we do. So I want to just say I'm so thankful to be a part of being in 247 because we get an unfiltered perspective out there and people can draw their own conclusions and hopefully our community can can grow and be better informed and you know because we too have a journey that that one day this nation will be ours and that we can enjoy the fruits of America just like everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a really interesting week. And I want to thank you, user 2236. We are going to have a great evening. He said, have a good evening. Uh, we appreciate it. We had a good show. Um, Insurance coverage with Medicare, Medicaid, goes to, I wanted to bring this up before I get off. It goes to the insurance company, and the insurance company denies the claim. So look at what this is what's happening here. When the insurance company denies the claim, whoever denied that claim has made a medical decision without being a doctor. So if they deny your services for Medicare or Medicaid, they are making medical decisions on your behalf, and they are not doctors, and they don't even know you. So if you're ever denied, you need to appeal to that insurance company and let them know that they're not medical people, that they can't deny you service that the doctor prescribes. And right now, thousands of people are being turned away from services because we're not diligent enough to know what's actually going down.
Yeah.
Still have problems with that bill that they're trying to pass, the budget. That is the biggest thing on my list about us today is Medicare. If you have Medicare, be very, very aware of any deductibles that you have to pay and be very, very aware of what is covered under your program because Medicare will deny you because they figure if they deny everybody, 8 out of 10 of them won't follow back up. So they'll only have to deal with two, but they save $1 million because they didn't have to pay. So my point is, don't allow them to move you or to get you paying every month. And then when you need coverage, they're telling you no. Telling hell to the no, get you the coverage you need. That goes for you too, TikTok. This is the Black News Network broadcasting live every Sunday at 3:30 p.m. This is the real voice of Black USA, broadcasting live and coming back at you on Sunday at 3:30 p.m. I want to say thank you to my co-host, Mr. Claude Foster, for being there and being a steadfast partner in this endeavor. And I say we're going to keep it moving, and next week we're going to have another great topic for you. And so thanks a lot for being part of BNN 247.